Hi guys, welcome to Phil Morton Business Development News. I'm joined today with Paul Stinson of Hovaloft, who does drone photography and also videography. The idea of today is to give you an idea of who I work with client-wise and to get to know more about them and show you what they do as a business. Well, Paul, thanks for joining me today. It's good to see you. I know we were on the networking this morning, which was really enjoyable. And that's basically how we met, I believe.
It is, yeah. Depot Bakery, wasn't it first?
It was, that's right, down
Destination Depot.
Yeah, that's right. Again, I don't know much about the drone background of what you did, but I actually showed a drone inside that Depot Bakery.
Yeah, I flew inside that day,
which was quite frightening in some respects, because I don't know how you control these things, and I've seen one or two people use them, but it's good to get some background knowledge about what exactly it is you do as a business. I know you do drone work and videography.
Yep.
So by all means, tell us more about the drones and what they do.
Yeah. I started because I used to be a communications manager at a pharmaceutical site in Barnard Castle, and then I got made redundant because they were getting rid of all communications managers, not because I was rubbish or anything. No. But while I was in that role, I had a drone operator come to the site and he filmed the site.
Right.
And some of the footage that you can get from those, and now you see it all over the place, don't you? I mean, I like to quote Mortimer and Whitehouse Go Fishing, because there's drone footage on that all of the time, and it's just so beautiful looking down the rivers and across the rivers and all of that stuff. And it's just so serene and calm and beautiful, really. And I wanted to be a part of that.
Wow.
So while I was still working there, I got myself a drone and played with it, learned how to use it, and then when I got made redundant, I got myself a bigger drone, paid for the test, because you've got to be qualified before you can do it commercially.
Yeah.
And then it's just grown from there, and then now I use standard video cameras. Drone video cameras are standard video cameras, but they just fly. I use standard video cameras as well.
Yeah.
On the ground, just to join up the drone stuff and the ground stuff, so that you can create the full package,
the full effect. Of what you do
for businesses and for, well, to be honest, a lot of the time I do it for fun because I just love it. I love doing it.
And watching your videos, we'll see that there's some fun element in that as well. Sitting in your back garden flying a drone straight up. It's still one of my favourites, even though it's the simplest video you've ever done. It's still one of my favourites because it shows the range of these things.
Yes.
And it's quite surprising how high they do go, which is why I take you need a pilot's licence for a drone.
It's not a pilot's licence as such. The new rules have just come in, and it's what you need is an A2 C of C for one of those drones.
Right.
And so you've got to do some online tests. You've got to do. You've got to prove that you're going to fly in a safe way, which basically means not going over 400 feet. I know you said they go very high, but 400 feet is really high.
Yeah,
especially when you're looking down from a drone.
I'm only 5'10", so it's quite high up. Yeah, definitely.
So you're not allowed to go over 400 feet because that starts getting in the way of airplanes and whatever else. There's special places you're not allowed to fly, obviously. Prisons, police stations, schools, airports, definitely.
Wasn't you then?
No, I wasn't. But I have flown near airports, but you've got to make sure that they know that you're going to do it and you've got permission.
Yeah.
Phone up the control tower beforehand, confirm that you've finished afterwards, and they're usually very, very pleased to let you do that, and they're very handy and very helpful.
Yeah.
Especially during lockdown, because there was no flying going on anyway. So
exactly,
I'd phone up the control tower. Can I fly? Yeah, sure. We've not got much going on here.
So when you're flying on an airport, for instance, what would your ideal shot be? Would it be a landing plane or a plane taking off, or where would you like to be on that?
Oh, crikey! I've never flown while there was planes flying.
Okay.
But if I've got permission, I would have to make sure it was quite a way away from a plane, because I imagine the turbulence from especially from a big jet, would be
small drone.
it would just get sucked into the engines and
that would be good.
Come out as components, wouldn't it? But I am going to be doing some flying at Woodford Air Museum soon.
Okay.
I'm going to go and see that. well, in a few weeks' time, I'm going to go and have a look around.
Yeah.
First of all, and then I'll take the drone and fly there. But they don't really fly from there. I think they've got an airfield, but it's very rarely used. So I think that'd be quite easy to get the permission and to fly at the right time.
Yeah, okay.
But I would love to fly next to something like a microlight or a parascending, something like that, because that would just.
Glider, that area, because
yeah,
in terms of glider, it's just a case of a normal plane that's just gliding.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It'd be or a hot air balloon.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I never thought about that one.
Yeah, and
just don't make sure the blades don't go into the balloon.
Exactly. Yeah. You keep far enough away. Yeah.
They don't spoil them while it's flying.
No, absolutely. I must say I am always very safe flying my drone.
Absolutely. We've been told this many times.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know exactly how these drones operate. So have you got something you can kind of show us?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a traditional drone. I mean, I mentioned the classification of A2.
Yeah.
This is A1.
Okay.
So this is less than 250 grams, this little fella.
Wow, and it is quite tiny.
Yeah.
You fit the palm of your hand. It's quite something.
You unwrap it, it's like a transformer, honestly. It's lovely the way it comes together. And we'll take the gimbal guard off. There we are. That is
in a matter of seconds, it's up and ready.
Well, it's not quite ready because I'd need to get the remote out, which is this.
Which is bigger than the drone itself.
And heavier. Yeah. And for a screen, you put your phone on here.
Okay.
On the top, and then you can see what's happening on your phone, what is happening on the camera lens, which is that little thing there.
It's really tiny.
It is tiny, yeah. But it films in 4K. That I think it's 30 frames a second, this one. So yes, I'd need to put all this together, stick the little joysticks on so I can fly it.
Wow.
Give it a few seconds to find the satellites. I think it needs about 10 before it's happy to know exactly where it is. It might tell me you're in a controlled area or something like that. It's very clever. It knows where it is, knows how high it is off the ground, knows if there's any dangers around. Providing everything's all right and you've ticked all the boxes, you can take off. And then this one, it will just take off, and it could, if I wanted to, I could make it hover there.
Yeah.
I could put the controller down, and it would stay there, constantly checking the satellite positions, checking its distance from the ground, and then using the computer inside it to change the speed of these propellers to keep it in exactly the same position, even if it's windy.
So it's a bit like an autopilot.
Yeah, always on autopilot. And that's why you get such great footage from them. And this gimbal moves, as the plane moves, as the aircraft moves. So if it does need to tilt a little bit to fight against the wind, the gimbal will tilt and make sure the scene stays stable.
Wow.
That's why they are so stable and
it's quite advanced
serene,
isn't it?
Yeah. And that's a fairly new one, that one. Yeah. And I think it was built really to get below that A2 standard, because that's where if you go for A2 and over, you need qualifications to fly it.
Yeah.
This little fella, I can fly almost anywhere. I mean, obviously not airports, prisons, etc., but over a few people as well.
Yeah.
Because usually on the heavier drones, like my other ones, a few kilograms, I can't fly that over people's heads unless they're under my control.
Right.
And they know that the drone is there.
Yeah.
But this one, I can.
Is it quite lightweight?
249 grams.
Nothing to it at all. That's quite a nimble piece of equipment, definitely.
It is.
So what's the battery life on that, on average?
About 20 minutes, I think.
Wow.
Depending on the weather.
Yeah.
If it's warm weather, it lasts longer. If it's cold weather, it doesn't last as long. And if it's windy, obviously it needs to fight against the wind, and that takes a bit more processing power and a bit more power than me.
So you're about 20 minutes flight time?
Yeah, I've got 3 batteries though for this one. So, you've got an hour's worth of flight with that one. And I've got a lot longer time on the memory card that sticks in the back.
Right, okay.
Right, just put it away. Unless you wanted to play with it more.
No, it's fine. That's really nice. It's good to see these things up close, because obviously when you see them in the sky, you don't get to see the quality of what you're actually looking at, but it's quite something.
Yeah, it is. I do like this one, and it's so versatile.
So have you got a favourite that you like to use more than others?
I think it's probably these little chaps. I've got two of these.
Right, okay.
This is the ProTech 25, and I've got a ProTech 35 as well. 25 is the 2.5 inches propeller size.
Right.
That's where that comes from. But
Okay.
these are very seat of your pants kind of drones.
Yeah. Obviously the camera sits in there.
Yeah, I use a GoPro in here.
Yeah.
That sits in there, and then there's a battery that fits on the back that plugs into that, and this has another camera right at the front there as well.
Okay. Wow.
So I wear a headset for this one, and I can see through that little camera there.
Is that the one you're flying through the trees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put a clip on.
Yeah. We'll cut the video on that one.
Yeah. And honestly, it is so much fun. This one, I love the footage you get from it, but it is fun, yes, but it's not as much fun as this.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're quite rugged as well, these, so you can...
They're a lot wider and less versatile than that is.
No, its manoeuvrability is amazing. And it tilts as it flies. This one stays straight and serene, getting beautiful footage.
Yeah.
This one flies like Superman would fly, flies like a bird would fly. You know, it takes a lot of mastering as well.
Yeah.
Which I suppose makes it even more exciting to use. And I'm by no means a great FPV drone flyer. If you really want to see some great flyers, have a look on YouTube at FPV drone racing. Honestly, some of those guys, these things can turn on a sixpence and they just flip over, go down tubes, through tiny holes this big.
Crimson factor for drones.
Oh, they have these races. So you've got like 3 or 4 guys with these, all racing against each other, looking at them through the goggles.
Wow.
And going through hoops, often in a warehouse or an abandoned building or something like that. And they're just,
Now that would be definitely scary crashing. Absolutely. Yeah, it's not a really good idea.
Well, yeah. And because it is a skill you have to master.
Yeah.
I have crashed that a few times. And I've replaced parts on it a few times.
Very safe.
Yeah. Oh, crikey, yes. I'd never do this anywhere near where there was anybody else.
Yeah.
It's always when I'm far, far away from other people.
Controlled areas.
Yeah. And I've got a flight sim as well that I practice on.
Nice. So, what happens if you fly into a restricted area, for example?
Well, I wouldn't.
Well, so obviously the drone tells you that you've got certain areas around you that are restricted.
Yeah, I mean this drone doesn't tell you because it is it's very lightweight and there's not the amount of intelligence in that drone that there is in this one.
Right.
But I do have apps on my phone, and I always use that first of all. In fact, I use it before I even get there. I'll put in the postcode or the coordinates of where I'm going to be flying.
Yeah.
And I'll look at that and see what permissions I need because I might need to contact the control tower of an airport or something, and often that is a few days beforehand.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we went outside now and started flying the drone,
Yep.
what would we need to do?
I'd check on my app first of all to make sure everything was all right. I wouldn't use that one because it's over 250 grams when it's got the battery on. I would use this one because there are people out there.
Yeah.
And other than that, we'd be aware.
So you always contact anybody or have a chat with anybody to find out if it's a restricted area. It's all done by the app.
No, I can do it with the app. I mean, if you're flying over someone's property, you need their permission, obviously.
Right, okay.
Because it's got a camera on it and, privacy laws prevent you from doing that.
Yeah. Right.
Although I think paparazzi have been known to flout those laws.
Yeah. Luckily we're not paparazzi.
No, and I wouldn't do that.
We do things in the right way, which is good.
Exactly, yeah.
So how long have you been doing the drone flying?
Made redundant in 2016, so 5 years-ish.
Right, okay. So obviously, like I say, you've got a passion for this. It's something you love doing, either as a hobby or a business.
Yeah.
Obviously, business pays the bills.
Yes.
As a hobby, you can go out to countrysides and all sorts of places. I think you do one of the Lady Bower fisheries. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. There's not many drone flight pilots who are allowed to fly at the Lady Bower, but I did go in and speak to the guys at the fisheries. I did some filming of what they do at the fisheries, and now I can kind of ring them up and say, is it all right if I come and fly? Because I did this the other day actually. I rang them up and said, can I come and fly over the reservoir because I just wanted to capture the sunset. And I went over there with Anthony Baker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I filmed a little bit of him doing that because I wanted to produce a little film of what he does.
Yeah.
And he got some great photos of the sunset, and I got some lovely video.
Awesome. Well, that's really good. So does it give you a fear factor flying over water? Obviously, these things are electric.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, these have got sensors in the bottom.
Yeah.
That tells it how far it is off the ground. But when I first started flying, I had a different drone, and it still had the sensors on the bottom. But I think the water I was flying over was quite still.
Okay.
So I started flying from land over the water, and then it started dipping. It started going right down, so I was quickly up on the controllers, getting up again. And I think it was it was over a lake, so I think it was seeing the lake bed rather than seeing the top of the water, which is like
so squeaky bum time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but you never keep the drone out. You never let the drone fly out of sight, and you always got your fingers on the controls. So I was happy, and I knew what to do. I brought it straight up, and it didn't get wet, which is great.
Definitely.
That was actually at Chillingham Castle, because I got permission to fly there. Do you know Chillingham Castle?
I don't know. No, I don't mean that.
Apparently one of the most haunted places in England.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and it's owned by Dominic Cummings' wife, father-in-law, I think, the castle.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, obviously you mentioned it's haunted, so could that actually pick up anything untoward?
Any ghosts? No, because ghosts aren't real.
You heard it here first. Paul says they're not real, that's not real. So obviously we know you do the drone footage, and it's fantastic to see the equipment that you use for that, and to know a bit more about it, license-wise, etc., or the regulations behind it all. But there's more to Hovaloft than just drone work.
Yes, there is.
So what else is there that Hovaloft offers?
Video. I do. I like to mix my drone work with my video work, and quite often I just do terrestrial video because it doesn't lend itself to drone.
Right.
Like filming interviews, for instance, and
things
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't think I'll ever use. I will. It's very rare to use a drone inside, unless it's something like this one where you want to show off a nice big showroom or a gym or something like that, and it that exciting swirling around sort of look makes it feel like, whoa, that's somewhere I really want to go to. Yeah, with a nice bit of punchy music.
Yeah. But so music-wise, is that all done in-house by you, or is it musicians that you use?
Yes, I've got a musician I do use. He's on Spotify as well, so you can look him up. He's called Ordus.
Okay.
Yeah, and he does electronic music, but generally I'll say to him, I'd like something that says, well, let's say I'm talking about a gym. I'd like something that says gyms and working out and things like that. And he'll say, oh, all right then. And he goes away and he comes back with a piece of music. I mean, wow. It's quite amazing. He did something for a guy who was doing cameras for tennis coaching. And I said, can you make me some music that sort of sounds a bit like tennis, like something someone who likes tennis would like, and he did that. I said a garage, he did that.
Okay, so he's quite versatile in what he does.
Yeah, and he quite likes it as well. He likes it when I give him those little tasks.
So if you want something punchy and energy, this is the kind of person you talk to, and this is exactly what we can do for you. Is that a long process for you to get that piece of music, or do you kind of just choose on the first whim kind of thing?
It's a two-way process. So I'll it's almost as soon as I get the job, I'll mention to him that I'm going to need something for this. He'll produce some music over a few days or a week or something like that, and then I'll listen to it, and then I'll share that with the client. Yeah. And then the client sometimes comes back and says, that's brilliant, or sometimes comes back and says,
it doesn't fit.
It's not quite right for me. So, and then I try and get out of them what sort of music they like, and then put that together, and then see if I can get something that more reflects what they want in themselves as well as what their business says.
So from my point of view now, obviously, you've got the drone, you've done the drone work, you're now on the ground, you've done the ground work, you've done the video, you've done the music, that's it, isn't it?
No. Editing.
Editing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Quite often the editing takes as long as the filming.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, it's it's quite surprising and how long it takes and how frustrating it can be as well. and probably not for the same reasons you're thinking, because quite often I've got a lot of footage and I think it's all beautiful. I mean, obviously bits where the drone's turning around or flying around or you're trying to get the right focus on the camera, that you can cut them out. But then you're left with 20 minutes of what wants to be a 3-minute video, so you've got to think, well, what am I going to get rid of now? That's the tough bit, thinking about what you're going to get rid of. And what I do is I'll produce a video and then I'll put it on YouTube just privately, so that people who've got that link can see it, and then I'll play it to my partner on the TV on the night, and I'll say, what do you think about this? And she's quite ruthless. She said, no, that's too long, that's rubbish, no, you've repeated that again from a different angle, you don't want that in there.
Ruthless or honest?
Well, honest, yeah. And I'm in tears.
That's not getting divorced just yet, let's not get you moved out into a shed. But it's great to see exactly what you do, and nice of we met on networking. I've heard a few business pitches from you about what you do in the business and who you're looking to connect with, who you're looking for. And I suppose it's anybody that has got a website that wants the video content to kind of just push the business a little bit further.
Of course, yeah. It could be a website. It could be their own YouTube channel that they want a video on, or they need to put something on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Just maybe just an interview or a piece directly to camera. And it's funny you mentioned websites actually, because I'm working with Scott England of Web & Go and Anthony Baker of Focusing on Photography, so that we can produce together. Well, I think Scott probably does all the main techie work, but just so we can create the right sort of content for that person. And then it's not photographs that someone's taken on the phone, and it's not something that they've videoed on their iPhone as well. So just so we can come together.
An all-inclusive package of what a website could actually be, or a content on that page or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know there's a lot more work, again, on the back end of that website that needs to be done to get the video content up there. Mm-hmm. So the quality's got to be of a certain nature.
Oh yeah. You don't want to go to a website and wait for 2 seconds, 3 seconds even before the video comes out. It wants to be there straight away, doesn't it? So you've got to compress it and have it in the right format so that you can see it, and then look at it on a phone as well, because you need it to be able to be seeable in that different aspect ratio compared to a TV or a computer screen.
And the way I see that collaboration working is that you've got 3 entities as businesses that are all going into one company as a whole. Yep. So there's not 3 different people turning on 3 different days. There's not 3 invoices. There's not 3 different sets of content to look at. It's just in one bundle where we can actually say, right, customer, here's what we've got. Yeah. Would that be how it would be presented to the customer?
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's almost an off-the-shelf website.
Right.
Yeah.
But obviously with the content included.
With the content included throughout. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. A great collaboration.
Yeah, it is. It is. We've done it. We've done a couple. We did something for Sunbeck Supplies, who do a tool company, and a little bit for Grindleford Cafe. But open to more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I really love doing it.
I think you might have got that in somewhere along the way. But if you enjoy doing what you love, then obviously you're going to put your passion into it and your whole into it.
Yeah.
And it does seem like you've hit the nail on the head where the technology you've got is concerned, in your background as well. So you've got the knowledge there to actually produce these videos of a high quality content. And if you do need to find you as a YouTube person or a website, where can we find you?
Oh, just search for Hovaloft, Hovaloft,
okay.
And on YouTube and online.
And people can subscribe to that YouTube video.
Oh, that would be great.
And watch the content.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping our listeners do subscribe to that.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic to get you more content and to get more visible.
More subscribers. Yeah. The more subscribers you get, the better features you get from YouTube as well. So that's always nice.
Yeah, and they're not just dull, boring videos.
No.
They are really interesting videos.
Yeah.
To show highlight what you do as a business.
Yeah.
And I think it's an amazing opportunity for us to actually get together like this and tell people about what you do.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got your own website as well, which is based at...
It's hovaloft.co.uk.
Lovely. And to get in touch with you by email?
Yes, yeah, there's a contact form on there, or you can email me at paul@hovaloft.co.uk.
Awesome. Well, I've really enjoyed the conversation today.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
been great to get to know more about it in the business.
Yeah.
I think you've got a fantastic service. I hope people do get in touch with you and start to get a bit more work,
Yeah,
as
excellent.
well as a hobby.
Yes.
Paul, thank you very much for coming
Thanks,
today.
Phil.
Much
Appreciate
appreciated.
that.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Take care. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Paul, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a great conversation to find out more about you and your business. This is the first in a series of client interviews I'm doing as part of Phil Morton Business Development News. So please do join us next time when we have another person in the seat. Who's it going to be? Could be you. Out for now. Thank you.